Hello friends, in this video we will discuss the questions which came in today's Civil Services Preliminary Examination 2017. Fifth question in set D, with reference to National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, which of the following statements is or correct? It is an organ of Niti Aayog. This is a wrong statement because it was created by the government and it was introduced in the budget 2015-16. It has a corpus of 4 lakh crore. This is a wrong statement because it has a corpus of just 40,000 crores. Out of which 20,000 crore will be contributed by the government and remaining will be taken as third party capital. So both these statements are wrong statements, since the answer is neither one nor two. Sixth question, the global infrastructure facility is a facility which would be in collaboration with the World Bank. This is the right statement. The appropriate answer for this question will be initiative which consists of the government, the private players, the multilateral banks in association with the World Bank. World Bank is the co-chair of this governing council which governs this global infrastructure facility. So the answer for this question is B is the right answer. It is a World Bank collaboration that facilitates the preparation and structuring of complex infrastructure public-private partnership to enable mobilization of private sector and institutional investor capital. Then seventh question, for election to Lok Sabha, a nomination paper can be filed by, who can file the nomination paper? According to section 4D of Representation of People Act 1951, a nomination paper can be filed by any citizen of India whose name appears in the electoral roll of any constituency. So this is the appropriate answer for the seventh question. 10th question with respect to UN Habitat. The first statement is UN Habitat has been mandated by the UN General Assembly. This is a correct statement. In 1978, UN General Assembly mandated this UN Habitat to promote socially and environmentally sustainable towns and cities to provide adequate shelter for all. This is a correct statement. The second statement says its partners are either governments or local urban authorities only. This is a wrong statement because it includes private players as well. So the second statement is a wrong statement. Second statement should not come. UN Habitat contributes to the overall objective of the UN system to reduce poverty and promote access to safe drinking water and basic sanitation is a correct statement. So accepting second statement, the first statement and third statement, they are the right statement. So answer is B, 1 and 3 only. 11th question, with reference to National Skill Qualification Framework, which of the following statement is or correct? Under National Skill Qualification Framework, a learner can acquire the certification for competency only through formal learning. There is a small trick which you can apply. Most of the time this trick will work out, and if the statement is having only, then most likely the statement will be a wrong statement. This is having only, that is why it is wrong, is not my contention. It is not just including formal learning, it includes even informal learning. So the first statement, only through formal learning, is wrong. It includes informal learning as well. And the second statement says an outcome expected from the implementation of NSQF is the mobility between vocational and general education. This is a correct statement. So the answer is B2 only. 13th question on National Career Service. National Career Service is an initiative of Department of Personnel and Training. This is a wrong statement because this is an initiative of the Department of Labor. So the first statement is a wrong statement because department is wrongly given. National Career Service has been launched in a mission mode to improve the employment opportunities to uneducated youths of the country. This is to provide or improve the employment opportunities to all, not only uneducated youths of the country. So this statement is only speaking about uneducated youths of the country. This is for employment opportunities for all. Hence both the statements are wrong statement. The answer is neither one nor two. Then 14th question, Scheme for Sustainable Structuring of Stressed Asset, S4A, recently in news. This is an initiative of RBI in 2016. This is a scheme for reworking the financial structure of big corporate entities facing genuine difficulties. There are large stressed assets of the corporate sector with the banks. To solve this problem only, the RBI has introduced this S4A scheme, and so the answer is B. 15th question, clean air coalition, climate and clean air coalition is to reduce short-lived climate pollutant is a unique initiative of not G20 country. It is a unique initiative of UNEP. So the first statement is a wrong statement. CCAC focuses on methane, black carbon and hydrofluorocarbon, and that is a right statement. So the second statement is a right statement. CCAC focuses on methane, black carbon and hydrofluorocarbon is a right statement. Short-lived climate pollutants are having a life shorter than that of long-lived climate pollutants like carbon dioxide. These short-lived climate pollutants, they cause so much of air pollution and their global warming potential is 1,000 times more than that of carbon dioxide. So it is necessary for reducing this short-lived climate pollutants, and for this only UNEP has taken this initiative. So the answer for this question is B2 only. Then coming to Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, 18th question in set D is on Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. The inaugural session was held in India. This is a right statement. Inaugural session was held in India in New Delhi. But the year they have given wrongly. The inaugural year was 2008 under the chairmanship of Indian Navy. So this statement, since the year is wrongly given, it is a wrong statement. It is a voluntary initiative that seeks to increase the maritime cooperation among the navies of the littoral states of Indian Ocean is a right statement. So the answer for this IONS is B2 only. Then come to this 22nd question in set D on soil health card scheme. This card scheme was, soil health card was initiated by the NDA government in 2015. This soil card will be issued to the farmers, and this soil card will carry the guidelines regarding what should be the appropriate nutrient and the fertilizer which should be used for a particular crop. So crop wise information on nutrients and fertilizer will be carried by this soil card, and this soil card will help the farmers to use optimally the inputs of the agriculture. For the judicial use of the fertilizers, this soil card will be of immense use. So expanding the area under irrigation is not the objective of the soil card scheme. Enabling the bank to assess the quantum of loan to the farmer is not the objective of the soil card scheme. Checking the overuse of fertilizer in the farmland. So optimal and genuine use of the agricultural input is one of the most important objective of the soil card scheme. Hence 3 only is the right answer for this question on soil health card scheme. 26th question in set D. The first statement says election of Lok Sabha or state assembly, the winning candidate must get 50% of the votes polled. This is not there. We follow first part the poll system. Majority is not there. Only plurality of votes. To get elected, you have to get plurality of votes, not the majority of vote. So the first statement is a wrong statement. The second statement says that according to the provision of the constitution, the Lok Sabha speaker post is given to the majority party and deputy speaker post is given to the opposition party. This is not according to the provision of the constitution. This is according to the convention and not according to the constitution. So both these statements are wrong statements. So answer is neither 1 nor 2. M stripes means monitoring system for tiger intensive protection and ecological status. So the answer is maintenance of tiger reserve. It is an Android application for protection of the tiger reserves. So this is the right answer for M stripes. Then coming to GST, goods and services tax, which is the question number 31 in set D. It will replace multiple taxes collected by multiple authorities and will thus create a single market in India. Yes, it will be creating a single market in India. This is a right statement. It will drastically reduce. This drastically reduce is a very sweeping statement. As a matter of rule, any sweeping statement most likely will be a wrong answer. So drastically reduce the current account deficit. Of course, it will make export competitive, but we are not sure about the import. So drastically reduce current account deficit is not something which we can accept because of the sweeping nature of the statement. But definitely it will enable to increase the foreign exchange reserve because it will boost the export. So the first part of the statement, since drastically reduce is given, it is a wrong statement. However, the second part of the statement is a right statement. In totality, the second statement partly correct, partly wrong. So you cannot take this as a correct statement as such. Third statement says it will enormously increase the growth and size of economy of India and it will enable to overtake China in the near future. Enormously increase, I told in the second statement. You have a very sweeping statement says drastically reduce, and the third statement says it will enormously increase. So since there is a sweeping nature in the statement of 2 and 3, you cannot say these 2 and 3 statements are correct statement. So the best answer will be A1 only. Broad-based trade and investment agreement BTIA, which was nothing but the free trade agreement between India and European Union, the talks for which was launched in 2007. From 2007 itself, India and European Union, they wanted to conclude this agreement, free trade agreement, otherwise called as broad-based trade and investment agreement. So it is sometimes seen in the news in the context of negotiation between India and, very simple answer, it is between India and European Union. It is not concluded, this BTIA is not getting concluded because of some of the irritations which is happening between India and European Union, especially in terms of the free movement of natural persons or environmental related provision or labor related provision, etc., etc. So this is the right answer, that is European Union. India has ratified trade facilitation agreement of WTO. Yes, definitely. April 22nd, 2016, Indian side has presented the instrument of ratification to the WTO Director General. So this is a right statement. April 22nd, 2016, we have presented the instrument of ratification to the Director General of WTO. TFA is a part of WTO's Bali Ministerial Package of 2013 is a right statement again. It's a right statement. TFA came into force in January 2016. This is a wrong statement because it came into force from February 2017. So the third statement, they have given wrongly the date of coming into force, and that is February 2017 and not January 2016. So third statement is a wrong statement. Answer hence will be 1 and 2 only. Developing Chabahar Port, which is the important objective of developing Chabahar Port? Definitely Pakistan is not allowing you to access Central Asia. Pakistan is not allowing us to access Afghanistan. So through Iran we can get connected to Afghanistan. That is the primary motive of Chabahar Port, and through Chabahar Port we can also give a big push to international north-south transport corridor, which was an initial agreement signed by 3 countries, India, Russia and Iran. So we can get connected to Europe, we can get connected to Central Asia, we can get connected to even Russia. So the question says importance of developing Chabahar Port. The best answer out of the 3 answer will be C. India will not depend on Pakistan to access Afghanistan and Central Asia. Right to vote and right to be elected in India is what type of right they are asking? Definitely you know it is not a fundamental right, and you know that it is not a natural right. Given the choices, you have to select the best choice. It is a constitutional right. Here where there may be a confusion, because 326 says every Indian who is 18 and above years of age will have a right to get entered into the electoral roll, and that is provided in 326. But explicitly right to vote is given in Section 62 of Representation of People Act 1951. They are very clearly given right to vote is flowing from Section 62 of RPA Act 1951. The very term right to vote is present in Section 62 of RPA 1951, which is why we say that it is a legal right and it is not a constitutional right, because in 326 it is given you have a right to be enlisted into the voter list, but right to vote explicitly the text of 62 section of RPA Act 1951 says that you have a right to vote. So since we follow the text of the article, we follow the text of the law 1951 RPA Act, we find that right to vote is explicitly mentioned in section 62 of RPA Act 1951. Hence the right answer is it is a legal right. Vidyanjali Yojana, that involvement of volunteers who may be even the diaspora, who may be communities, who may be private players, in order to help the running of the elementary schools, and that is the scheme called Vidyanjali Yojana. So it says to enable the foreign educational institutions to open their campus in India is a wrong statement. to increase the quality of education provided in the government school by taking up help from the private sector and the community. Definitely this is the right statement. To encourage voluntary monetary contribution. In fact, the volunteers under the scheme, they will not contribute anything and they also cannot get any type of compensation for their help. The help will be in terms of co-scholastic activities like helping the children studying in the elementary schools run by the government to learn properly, to get the creative writing skill, to get the public speaking skill, to write a book, etc., etc. These are the works of the volunteers who come under the scheme called as Vidyanjali Yojana. Monetary contribution, definitely it is not given. In fact, they are supporting the children present in the elementary schools of the government to get some sort of skills like creative writing, creative speaking, creative reading, etc., etc. So the third statement is wrong, the first statement is wrong. The answer is 2 only. Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. The appropriate answer out of all the 4 choices given is achieving 100% literacy is not the right answer, and the best answer is connecting the institutions of higher education with local communities to address to the developmental challenges using appropriate technology. This is the right answer for this question on Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Question number 40. Election Commission of India is a 5-member body. You very well know that it is not a 5-member body. Initially it was only a single member body. Only in 1989 October it was made into a multi-member body with the inclusion of 2 additional commissioners. Then subsequently January 1990 they started functioning as again a single member body. Only in 1993 they started functioning as a multi-member body. It consists of Chief Election Commissioner plus 2 election commissioners. So definitely this is a wrong statement. Union Ministry of Home Affairs decides the election schedule. Who is preparing the election schedule? Election schedule is prepared by the Election Commission of India, not by the Union Home Affairs Ministry. And definitely Election Commission of India resolved the dispute related to splits, mergers of the recognized political parties. Of course, the decision of the Election Commission of India can be challenged before the court. That is a different thing. But the third statement that Election Commission of India resolved the disputes related to the splits and the merger of the recognized political party, and this is the correct statement. The correct statement is 3 only. Judicial review means what? Judiciary will scrutinize whether the actions of the government or the actions of the legislature is in tune with the provisions of the constitution or not. If it is not in tune with the provision of the constitution or not, the executive orders or the legislative actions will be struck down by Supreme Court as unconstitutional and void, and this power of judicial review is present in Indian Constitution in Article 13. It is also available for both Supreme Court as well as High Court in our Constitution. So the best answer out of the 4 answers will be the power of the judicial to pronounce upon the constitutionality of laws and executive orders. Judiciary to question the wisdom of the law enacted by legislature. It is not just a wisdom questioned, it is also they will question the actions of the executive. They will question the actions of the executive. And third, it is a wrong statement. The power of the judicial to review all the legislative enactments before they are given assent by the president. So this is not appropriately given as a statement which can explain this judicial review. The power of the judicial review to review its own judgment, we find that Article 137 provides Supreme Court the power of revisory jurisdiction. Actually, D is nothing but revisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court as mentioned in Article 137 of the Constitution. Consider the following statement. Tax revenue as a percentage of GDP has steadily increased in the last 2 decades. We will show you the graph. Look at this graph. Tax revenue as a percentage of GDP is fluctuating. It is not steadily increasing, it is fluctuating. You can see the graph here. It is not steadily increasing, it is only fluctuating. Of course, gross tax revenue is increasing, but tax revenue as a percentage of GDP is fluctuating. It is not steadily increasing. So you see that this first statement definitely is a wrong statement because it says steadily increasing. It is not steadily increasing, it is fluctuating. Fiscal deficit as a percentage of GDP has been steadily increasing in the last decade is what they have given the second statement. Look at the slide here. Fiscal deficit is reducing. It is reducing steadily. It is not increasing steadily. It is reducing steadily. So it is a wrong statement as it is saying steadily increasing. It is actually steadily reducing in the last decade. So both the statements are wrong statement. Neither one nor two is the right answer. Come to this question. Not necessarily the consequence of proclamation of president's rule in a state is Article 356 necessarily leading to dissolution of state legislative assembly. No, it is not. State legislative assembly can be dissolved. It can also be kept in the suspended animation. So not necessary. This is not necessary. It can be kept under suspended animation. It is not necessarily to be dismissed, or it is not necessarily to be dissolved. Removal of Council of Ministers, this is sure that the Council of Ministers will be dismissed under Article 356. So this is certain. This is necessarily done. And dissolution of the local body, definitely it is not going to get dissolved when there is an imposition of President's rule under Article 356. Not necessarily means 1 and 3. So B is the right answer for 46th question. Come to this right against exploitation given in the Constitution of India. We know there are two articles which is providing right against exploitation. One is Article 23, and that is the prohibition of traffic in human being, which is given in Article 23, and 24, that is prohibition of employment of children in factories and mines. So only 23 and 24th article come under the title called as right against exploitation. So 1 and 4 is the right answer. This is Article 17, right to equality. 14 to 18 is right to equality, and this is Article 30, protection of minorities, protection of the interests of minorities. Article 30, cultural and educational rights of minorities. Article 30. So this 2 and 3 should not come. 1 and 4 is the right answer for the question number 47. Principle underlying the cabinet form of government. Cabinet form of government means parliamentary form of government, which means collective responsibility. Whenever you see cabinet form of government, it is nothing but collective responsibility, which is given in Constitution under Article 75 clause 3, which says the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the House of People. So the best answer will be a mechanism of parliamentary democracy for ensuring collective responsibility of the government. So the key word for cabinet form of government is collective responsibility or parliamentary democracy. Very appropriately, only the C statement is explaining this principle underlying cabinet form of government. An arrangement minimizing the criticism. So this is not a democratic principle at all. Speeding up of the activities of the government. So that is not the crux of cabinet form of government. Device for strengthening the hands of the head of the government. Definitely this is also undemocratic in nature. So the appropriate answer for this 49th question will be C, which is not a feature of Indian federalism. There is an independent judiciary. You have definitely an independent judiciary in India. The power have been clearly defined between the center and the state. Definitely you have Schedule 7, division of power between the center and the state. The federating units have been given unequal representation. This is also there in Indian Constitution, which is not there in Indian Constitution, which is not a feature of Indian Federation. The best answer is D. It is not the result of the agreement among the federating units. It is for the convenience the center has created the state. So it is a union of state. It is not a federation of state, which is given in Article 1 of the Constitution. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state. Federation is not mentioned in the Constitution. So this is the thing which we can give as the answer. This is not a federal feature of Indian Constitution. D is the right answer. The term domestic content requirement is sometimes in the news with reference to what? We have a dispute in WTO between India and US. That US has filed a case against India in WTO because India is imposing this domestic content requirement on solar panels. Those solar panels which are manufactured by the domestic manufacturers, they will be given little bit of reservation, and that DCR is what is becoming a dispute, and they say that it is not fair on the part of India. So DCR means solar power production in the country. So this is the right answer.